Winter Haven has many meanings to many people. For some, it's as literal as it sounds. They're the perfect haven from the harsh winter months up north. Coming up next on Polk Place, we'll talk with Winter Haven Chamber of Commerce with Katie Worthington. Make sure you stick around. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Jeremy Moretti, and with me, as we mentioned earlier, is Katie Worthington with the Winter Haven Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in again. We're always glad to have you here.
Absolutely.
So, you guys have quite the impact in the community on businesses, on the folks that live there, and I think some folks might not even realize the impact that you guys make, and helping businesses come in and really thrive in the community. And
sure,
you guys have really kind of lately been having a revitalization in downtown. And
yes,
why don't you talk to us a little bit about what you do and what all's coming?
It is. It's a really exciting time in Winter Haven and Polk County as a whole. So the Chamber of Commerce, a lot of people don't know what a Chamber of Commerce is, and even I spoke to a group of high school students last week, and the blank look on their face when I asked, what does the Chamber of Commerce do? So we've actually been around since 1911, so, and we're originally founded as a board of trade. So we've been in the Winter Haven community for a long time. What's very neat about a Chamber of Commerce in a community the size of Winter Haven or Lakeland or any of the Polk municipalities is that you get both sides of the coin. So you are not only advancing commerce and advocating for the businesses in your community, but you're also getting to advocate for the community itself, which is what makes the job so fun. So at the Chamber of Commerce, we are focused on not just what makes a good business environment, because a solid business environment creates a great economy, which creates a good quality of life and all that goes along with that. But we get to focus on a lot of the fun stuff in terms of what is happening in the community and how is the community developing. So we get to wear both hats, which makes it a lot of fun.
What is different now? And I'm a Polk County native, and so I've seen, over almost the, well, I don't want to admit that much. How long?
29 years, over the last 29 years.
A lot has changed in, the image of Winter Haven and everything. I remember, the days of Cypress Gardens, the Boston Red Sox, and those types of things that were there. And now it's a completely different landscape to me. What's going on? What's been happening in the last few years to really bring that in?
Sure. So Winter Haven itself, the name itself kind of connotes snowbird's paradise, right? So a lot of people come down from Ohio, New York, Michigan, kind of those target market areas. And that still happens. I think part of the difference is your baby boomers actually want about the same thing that millennials do. They want a lively quality of life. They want a place, a fun place to go out, to listen to live music, to have a lot of different dining options, that sort of things, which is great when you're looking at an economic development perspective because you're targeting the same thing for two of your largest demographics, which is great. With Winter Haven, and really with Polk County as a whole, I feel like there's had to be this kind of self-reflection and transformation. We tend to be very self-deprecating in Polk County. Oh, it's just Polk County.
Yep.
In fact, people take a lot of pride by saying Polk instead of Polk, which is a little bit grinding to me. But there's a lot of pride here, and people love our agricultural past. People love the companies that have been founded here, like Publix, and the cult following that they have. But we're coming to the 2.0 stage of that in Winter Haven and in Polk County. We've taken on kind of a branding or a marketing campaign of authenticity reimagined. How can we look at our foundation of what has made Winter Haven so great for so long and build upon that for the next generation?
Okay. So
we look at, step one is really getting people to think about Polk County and Winter Haven differently. Take that pride you have in having grown up here and watching it evolve to where it's been now, and build upon that, and don't be so self-deprecating that it's just Polk County or it's just Winter Haven. A lot of people think Winter Haven is just a small town, and of course we're the second largest town in Polk County, and our population is about 80,000 in the greater Winter Haven area, so in unincorporated and in the city limits. that's not a small town anymore.
No, it's
and if
not.
you drive down the road, you feel that as you're going down Cypress Gardens Boulevard. So I think a lot of the difference has to do in this overall aura of positivity that's come about from the public and private investment that has come. When people can see the change, it makes a huge difference. And in the early 2000s, the city government put about $12 million into the downtown core infrastructure in the Florence Villa neighborhood infrastructure, streetscaping, brick pavers, relocating the library in the downtown. Off of that, over $150 million of private investment has gone into the downtown corridor. So that private investment is what has really ignited the food and dining options. We have over 15 restaurants in downtown Winter Haven. So I joke it's like the Epcot food court.
Well, and it really is. You say the 15, but I mean, they have their own niche.
Yes.
It's not, your chain restaurants and, your Chili's, your Outback, which there's nothing wrong with those. But to really get that local flavor, I mean, they're so eclectic, and the taste and the flavors that go with the restaurant personalities.
Exactly. Yeah, we have everything from Louisiana style food, which is at Tempo 1930, which is actually in the first Publix, so the very first Publix store. Hence why it's called 1930, as an homage to George Jenkins. Barbecue, American, Thai food, Japanese food, Mexican food, all on Central Avenue.
Microbrewing.
Yeah, Grove Roots.
Yep.
So Grove Roots has been a great addition to the downtown core. I heard it described once as Winter Haven's backyard.
Yeah.
It feels like a backyard party, just everybody coming out. It's dog friendly. It's toddler friendly, which is great when you have a 4-month-old that people don't look at you weird when you're bringing a baby into a bar.
Yeah.
But it's great. I mean, that's just the general aura of it to the community. And that really created an anchor in one side of downtown, which you've seen all of the vacant space fill in between Grove Roots and the main downtown corridor, which is exciting.
So in your role as the chamber, how do you tie all of this together between, your activity, the community's activity, and the business activity?
So it's important for the business community to understand what's going on. A part of it is advocacy. So I get the fun task of attending a lot of government meetings. So whether that be city commission meeting or county commission meetings, or when legislative session is in session in Tallahassee, to make sure that the policies that they are putting into place are friendly for business and economic development. We don't want the policies to be too harsh that businesses aren't able to thrive and grow, but we also don't want growth to be uncontrolled, or you want sustainable long-term growth. So you have to make sure that you're working with what's going to work for the business community. At the same time, quality of life is such a big piece of a business's ability to grow and recruit employees. And so we are an education advocacy chamber. We do a lot of work with Polk County Public Schools and our private schools in the area to make sure that we have a good variety of educational offerings, and that we are always continually working to strengthen our public school system in Winter Haven and Polk County. Hopefully things that we can do in Winter Haven can ripple through to the rest of Polk County as well. So that's a big piece of the puzzle: quality of life, advocating for parks and recreation, sidewalks and infrastructure and sewage, which doesn't sound really, really sexy and exciting, but if you can't flush
it
your
affects
toilet,
everybody.
I mean, so that's a big kind of behind the scene things that the chamber does that a lot of people don't outwardly see, but is a part of kind of keeping the wheels of progress moving when it comes to that.
Well, sure. And I mean, really, in getting involved with those types of things, it's also planning out the future for what other generations are going to be able to enjoy.
Exactly.
Because we already had that, foundation, laid down for us, and now we're building on top of that. Right. And I mean, it's going, 90-0 right now. It kind of seems like in recent years.
It is, yeah. We've got a lot of collaboration that needs to be done between the city, the county, and the state on road infrastructure, especially in Northeast. I think the last audit that the county did on the road deficiencies and lack of roadway network, it was just that numbers were astronomical in Northeast, both Winter Haven as well as Davenport, Haines City area. So that's a top priority, I know, for both the county and the city. What's interesting in Winter Haven is there's, of course, 55 lakes within the city limits. So you can't just build roads wherever you think you need to build roads.
It's a lot of winding.
It is, yeah, a lot of going around large bodies of water. So it's challenging in our area. We really only have 3 or 4 main artery roads. And back in the day, when the business is built, they built right on the roads. So widening those roads is not always an option.
Sure.
So how do you rework that network? And every time I post, hey, look what's coming to Winter Haven, all of the comment thread becomes traffic, intersection problems, traffic. So that is definitely a key priority of both the county and the city on looking how that how we make the infrastructure meet the growth that is going to happen regardless of what we do as a government.
Now, with all that growth going on, what do you guys have coming up that folks can look forward to?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things that we need is hotel rooms. Legoland has had exponential growth in visitors, over 2 million visitors a year, over $1 billion economic impact, and that was just at year 5. They're going on year 7 now. So Legoland is very tight-lipped. They haven't announced it yet, but they have filed site plans for another 150-room hotel right on their park entrance. So that would make 3 accommodations for them. We have a Courtyard Marriott just across the street that'll be opening in January. 2 additional hotels further up Cypress Gardens Boulevard. And then just yesterday, a developer announced plans to redevelop a plot of land across from the Chain of Lakes complex. It's an old Mosaic fertilizer
Okay,
piece
yeah,
of land.
I know what you're talking about, yep.
And they also, on their wish list site plan, have a hotel that they would like to see go on that property.
Well, that's not really a huge surprise, I would say. I mean, with all the development that's gone on, there's a shortage of rooms.
There is a massive shortage of rooms. 2015, we did a study, and it was something like 1,200 rooms that they thought we would need. So the Field House, which will be just across the street from that development, it's a $25 million investment between the county and the city.
Yep.
And that will have 6 basketball courts, 12 volleyball courts if you subdivide those. It'll be the practice facility for the Lakeland Magic, but also opened up for meetings and conventions and expos and kind of those larger events that even Normail Hall, even though we have that back on lively again, can only fit 600 people. So if you want to do an expo or something like that, it's too small. So you factor in the Field House plus the growth at Legoland, and our hotels are full. So we really do need more hotels, and we really have a pipeline right now that seems like it'll make it great. And anytime you get more hotels, you get more overnight stays, then the retail and the restaurants start to come in. So we're seeing brands like First Watch. Of course, Lakeland just got their first watch.
Yep.
That has been announced for Winter Haven as well. Duke's Brew House, which is a Plant City chain. There's one in Lakeland. This will be their 3rd location in Winter Haven. A 2nd Starbucks. But then also a lot of independent mom and pops that are opening up shop. They feel the confidence in the economy. And so we've had a lot of new restaurants open from that perspective as well.
Well, sure. I think there's also been kind of a revitalization, too, of the buy local.
Oh, absolutely.
And, looking at that, especially with the downtown areas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Almost everything downtown is locally owned. And so when I drive by a chain and there's a line out the door on the Friday night, which is great because those are local employees and many times local franchise owners, so they're locally owned as well. But you want to say, check out one of the 15 downtown as well. We've got the best Italian restaurant in Central Florida, Arabella's, and it's always rated that on every Yelp. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. The gnocchi, it's great. But you've got the best Italian restaurant. We have a very unique fine dining restaurant called Nutwood. Was a Michelin-rated chef that's there on one of the side streets in downtown. So there's really unique stuff, and so I really encourage people to go beyond many of the chains and try some of the local ones as well.
Well, that sounds fantastic. Well, thanks so much for coming in and kind of giving us an update on everything going on and all your hard work too.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
The Chamber of Commerce serves as the hub for all information relating to Winter Haven, both for business and community. If they don't have the answer, they'll strive to connect you with the right people to help you grow your business or expand your network. They have more than 750 businesses with nearly 2,000 designated representatives that represent their member investors. The Chamber is administered by a board of directors who set policy and strategic goals. The Greater Winter Haven Chamber of Commerce has been accredited for 35 years and was designated as a 5-star chamber by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce in 2018. For more information on the Winter Haven Chamber of Commerce, you can look them up on the web at www.winterhavenchamber.com or give them a call at 863-293-2138.